Imagine waking up to the roar of uncertainty, news of upheaval, personal trials knocking at your door, the world spinning faster than you can catch your breath. Your heart pounds, the mind races, and you feel adrift in a storm of your own making. Now pause. In that moment of turmoil, a single thought can anchor you. I choose peace. This is the invitation offered by Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor who ruled amid empire-wide crises yet cultivated calm within. Today, we'll explore 5 timeless rules drawn from his meditations, guiding principles forged in the crucible of chaos, yet shining as clear beacons for modern life. By the end, you'll possess a practical roadmap to steady your soul, transform adversity into growth, and reclaim serenity, no matter how tempestuous the world becomes. Rule 1: Master your mind. The mind is both battlefield and refuge. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that events themselves are either good nor bad. It is our judgments that give them power. In today's terms, when your inbox overflows, your schedule collapses, or headlines scream disaster, notice the narrative you're spinning. Are you convinced that every setback signals personal failure? Are you defining your worth by external circumstances? To master your mind, practice the simple but profound act of reframing. Label emotions as they arise. I feel frustration, I notice impatience, and step back from the drama. Recognize thoughts as visitors, not permanent residents. Consider the real-world example of a project manager whose software launch derailed when a critical bug emerged days before release. Panic set in, fingers flew across keyboards in frantic firefights, morale sank, and deadlines blurred. Then the manager paused, walked the team through a brief reframing exercise. This bug is just data. We can solve it step by step. By shifting focus from catastrophe to opportunity, an elegant fix, a chance to strengthen testing protocols, the team regained composure and ultimately delivered a more robust product. The storm didn't vanish, but by mastering their mind's response, they navigated through it. Rule 2: Embrace what you can control. Nothing frustrates more than wishing to change the unchangeable. Marcus Aurelius taught that the universe is governed by logos, natural law beyond our influence, and our duty is to engage only with what lies within our own capacity. In modern life, this means distinguishing between the circle of concern and the circle of influence. You can't dictate market swings, other people's choices, or the passage of time. But you can choose how you act, what values you uphold, and whether you give in to despair or hold fast to hope. Take the example of a teacher contending with endless administrative shifts, new curricula each semester, shifting regulations, unpredictable class sizes. Rather than lamenting each mandate, the teacher focused energy on crafting engaging lessons, building relationships with students, and honing pedagogical skills. By channeling effort into the sphere of influence, the teacher not only weathered bureaucratic storms but also became known for fostering remarkable learning breakthroughs. When you accept that your power lies in your own mind and actions, the tumult around you no longer robs you of peace. It merely becomes the backdrop against which your character shines. Rule 3: Live according to nature's rhythm. Ancient Stoics believed that living in harmony with nature, understanding the world's rhythms and adapting gracefully, yields inner tranquility. Today, this can mean syncing with the natural cycles of work and rest, acknowledging seasons of growth and dormancy within your own life. Insisting on constant acceleration leads to burnout. Resisting inevitable change breeds frustration. Instead, adopt the Stoic principle of amor fati, loving fate, and view each phase as necessary. Imagine a small business owner whose sales peak in summer and slump in winter. In past years, panic would grip them as holiday cheers faded into empty storefronts. Now, by aligning with natural ebbs and flows, they use slower months to innovate, developing new products, refining marketing strategies, or simply taking restorative breaks. When the busy season returns, they are refreshed and ready. The key is not futile resistance, but attuned response, flourishing when conditions allow and conserving strength when they don't. Feel the momentum as you realize you already hold 3 of Marcus's guiding stars in your hands. Tools to steady your mind, honor what you can control, and flow with life's seasons. Now imagine harnessing that same resolve to transform frustration into mindful action and doubt into unwavering purpose, even when every impulse screams otherwise. Let's dive into 2 more rules that complete this Stoic blueprint, practices to steel your spirit and nourish your deepest values when the storm clouds gather fiercest. Rule 4: Cultivate an inner citadel. Even the strongest fortress depends on solid walls. For Marcus, that fortress was built not of stone but of virtues, wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. These aren't lofty abstractions but practical guardrails for daily behavior. By committing to act in alignment with your highest ideals, speaking truth with kindness, standing firm when pressured, choosing moderation over excess, you forge an unbreakable inner citadel. Consider the nurse working a double shift in an overwhelmed emergency ward. Faced with exhaustion, under-resourced teams, and heart-wrenching choices, it's easy to feel crushed by the impossible demand. But by anchoring each decision in compassion and professional integrity, the nurse transforms chaos into service. A weary smile to a frightened patient, a calm explanation to a family member, a moment's steadying breath before a critical procedure. Here, temperance softens panic, courage steadies hands, and justice ensures each person receives the respect they deserve. In this way, virtues aren't mere words. They're stones you lay one by one to build an inner sanctuary no external crisis can breach. Rule 5: Practice daily reflection and gratitude. Finally, Marcus never let a day pass without turning inward. Each evening he reviewed his actions, celebrated small victories, and acknowledged missteps with a pledge to improve. This ritual of reflection cements learning and fosters gratitude, 2 antidotes to spiraling negativity. In modern life, a simple journaling practice can serve the same purpose, noting 3 things you did well, 1 area for growth, and at least 1 moment that filled you with genuine gratitude. Take the example of a software engineer who began reserving 10 minutes before bed to jot down reflections. The engineer would recall a moment of collaborative triumph in morning stand UPS, recognize a tendency to interrupt teammates, and commit to listening more, and express thanks for a mentor's guidance. Over weeks, this practice rewired focus from blinking alerts and looming sprints to intentional progress and genuine appreciation. Stress levels dropped, relationships improved, and the engineer discovered that even in the quickest turnaround, a calm, grateful mind can turn pressure into purpose. As these 5 rules come together: master your mind, embrace what you can control, live in harmony with nature's rhythms, cultivate an inner citadel, and practice reflection with gratitude, you hold a cohesive philosophy for inner peace. Each rule reinforces the others, forging resilience through thoughtful perspective, principled action, and continual self-examination. When the world rages beyond your walls, you need not be tossed by every gust. Instead, you stand rooted in the steadiness of your own reasoned resolve, ready to meet chaos with calm. And so we come full circle. You have learned to master your mind, seeing thoughts as transient echoes rather than unbreakable truths. You have learned to distinguish what lies within your power and what does not, directing effort where it will bear fruit. You have learned to move with life's natural rhythms, finding renewal in both labor and rest. You have built an inner citadel of virtue, stone by resilient stone, so no external tempest can breach your walls. And you have practiced daily reflection and gratitude, turning each sunset into a moment of growth and each dawn into a fresh opportunity for peace. Together, these 5 rules form a living practice, not merely words on a page. In every decision you face, from the smallest irritant to the greatest upheaval, you can return to these principles, grounding yourself in reason, acting with integrity, and embracing each moment as it unfolds. Chaos may swirl all around, but you will stand calm at the center, your soul unshaken. Carry Marcus Aurelius's wisdom with you through every trial. Let these rules be your shield and your guide, so that when the world threatens to overwhelm, you need only pause, remember, and choose peace. If you found this journey meaningful, subscribe now for more insights into philosophy that empowers your life.